Welcome back to another episode of Humanscape of Clarksville. I'm Skylar Lamm. I am an intern here with IPH, and today we have the pleasure of talking to Beth Kirby, who's an actress at the Roxy. So what is your story, and how did you get into acting?
Well, I had been acting for a while, kind of as a kid, in high school, in college, and then I took a break from acting for a while because I went to graduate school for math, which took up a lot of my time. I had 2 kids, and I just didn't really have the opportunity to have, that experience in my life for a little while. And then I think it was in 2016 I saw that the Roxy was holding local auditions. And I knew that they were a professional theater and kind of pulled actors in from New York and from other places. So I thought this would be a really neat opportunity to try to be involved over there and maybe bring theater back into my life a little bit. So I was pretty nervous because I had not even auditioned for anything in about 10 years. So I just kind of took the leap and tried it out. And I worked pretty hard at my audition, and I had to wait a couple weeks to find out, but I found out that I was cast in 3 shows over there for their 2016-2017 season. I felt really lucky, so I was able to take a semester off from teaching so that I could be involved over there. And since then, I've just tried to, I can't do it all the time because I am a full-time instructor, but I try to do as much as I can throughout, over the past 7 years, as much as I could be involved over there.
Do you think that you making time for that is important to your mental health and just overall enjoying life?
Absolutely, yeah. It's something that when I don't get a chance to do it, especially with the pandemic, obviously when they were closed, pretty much any kind of performing arts was totally disrupted. It definitely felt like something that was missing, and so it has been important to me to try to find time. Generally, it happens over the summers for me now, but I also have a really supportive husband who helps me out with family things that still need to get done, and we make it work, and it's been a really great part of my life since I've gotten involved.
That's amazing. What does humanities mean to you? What's a good definition that you could give it? Or
Yeah. Well, the humanities to me, for part of my background as well, as I went to a liberal arts college for my undergraduate degree. And so the humanities were a huge part of that as well. Even though I was a math major, I still did a lot of reading and writing. I had to take foreign languages. I was able to be involved in the theater on campus. I was able to be in 2 choirs. And so the humanities have just always been, to me, an important part of balancing life. I love math. I'm really interested in science. And I think that those kind of can be bolstered by also having the humanities with having an opportunity to be a little bit more expressive and creative and hear from those people, because I think creativity and STEM can really go hand in hand. So I love that about being able to do both things.
I've never thought of it that way. If you choose STEM, you're just gonna stick with that, or you can't really incorporate the 2 of them.
A lot of people do think that, and it's nice to kind of have different opportunities to work different parts of your brain and your body, and it's I think it's nice to have that balance. So.
Yeah.
I know that there's plenty of other, one of the things I love about the College of STEM here is that our faculty, they also do lots of other things. I know that some of them are painters and even gardeners, things like that, that are really creative. So I love that.
Going back to the Roxy, do you think, since Clarksville is kind of a small town, how do you think it's impacted our community?
Yeah, I think it's been a great resource for Clarksville because it is really, I think as far as I know, it's the only theater opportunity that's not on campus, although our theater department is also wonderful, puts on really great shows. But I think that having a place, especially downtown, where everybody can come, and they do so many things, lots of different variety. They do shows that are more geared towards kids, straight plays, things that are a little bit more kind of experimental, and things that are a little bit more mainstream. So I think that they do a great job with the variety and having something for everyone. And it's also a great place for the youth in our community to also try their hand at it, because they have the School of the Arts. And full disclosure, my youngest son actually has been involved in School of the Arts over there. So they give opportunities to kids, to local community members like me who just want to try it out. And I think it's a great resource for the community, either to be involved in the theater or just to go see it, because it can really be a great place to, find something new.
So what's your favorite performance or play that you've done there?
Well, that's a great question. I've been really lucky to have a lot of variety of different things, and all of them have really been great experiences. Oh gosh, okay, so if I have to choose a favorite, I might say actually one of the big reasons that I first auditioned way back in 2016 is that they were, as part of their season, doing a show called Title of Show, which is a strange name, but it's a very small musical, only 4 actors in it, and it's something I loved actually in college and graduate school when I just heard about it. So having the chance to be a part of that was really what made me kind of take the leap and audition. And I got one of the roles in that show, and that was a really fun experience, because it's a really fun musical. Obviously, there were 4 of us. We got very tight together, and it was just so much fun to perform.
Yeah. How do you prepare for a performance?
Yeah, it's a very kind of an intense process to be ready, especially over at the Roxy, since they're a professional theater. They usually only have about 3 weeks of rehearsal before opening, and so we work 6 to 8 hours every day, except for usually we get Sundays off over there. But yeah, we have pretty intense music rehearsals usually to start out with, so that everybody feels comfortable with the music, and then start blocking. One of the things that I learned since before being involved at the Roxy, I had never done any professional theater, is just the dedication that it takes to review things on your own time. Even if you've had 8 hours of rehearsal, I would still go home and I would have to look through my script and review my blocking so that we could be ready to move on to the next thing, because it does move very quickly. But that also, it is kind of fun, because you just have to jump in and try things and not be scared to, you can't say, well, I'll try to figure this out in a week, because by then you'll probably have opened the show. So,
exactly.
So yeah, it's hard work, but it's definitely fun. It ends up being more than a full-time job, but yeah, it's worth it, because especially with actors, it's what we love to do, and I think that even the professional actors who've come in from New York or Atlanta or anywhere else, we just feel lucky to be able to do what we do, because we know, and it's also very competitive, so there's a lot of people who would love the chance to do that, who might not get that chance for every show. So it does kind of feel like a privilege to be there.
How do you feel after the performance has ended?
That's a great question as well. It really depends on the show, I think. I did one play a few years ago that was a very kind of intense, emotional, just a 2-person play. It was called Constellations. When that show would end every night, I mean, it just really felt like relief, but not in a bad way, just that, we had said all of our lines correctly, and we had gotten through it all and gotten through this kind of emotional journey with this other actor. So that one definitely felt like a big sigh of relief. Some other shows I just finished over the summer, I was in 9 to 5, the musical, which was just a kind of silly, high energy kind of show. And that one, the energy just felt way, way up there at the end. Even even at the very, very end, at the end of the bows, I just like felt full of energy, and the audiences would be, you know, on their feet and clapping, and so that was it. It just kind of depends on what kind of
What it's
show
about.
you're in. Yeah.
When you prepare for a performance, do you try to learn the history about the play?
It depends. Again, with 9 to 5, maybe not so much. Like it just kind of is more of a again, a little bit silly, but definitely fun. It was just kind of one of those, like, I learned my music, I learned my lines, and just gave it as high energy of a performance as I could every night. Yeah, the first show I did over there was the Diary of Anne Frank.
Okay.
So that one I definitely did, you know, a lot more reading on, and I think that that probably helped to just be ready to kind of inhabit that world when I got to rehearsals for that.
So how do you think that acting, theater, music, performing, art, just everything in general, how do you think that plays a part in the human experience?
I think it's almost everything that makes us human, you know, because it's about communication, all of the different ways that we can communicate with each other. It's not just about talking, all of the music and dance and just communicating the things that are going on inside of you, I think is a huge part of being a human. So I just think that's so important, and telling stories, because storytelling is really how anything happens. I feel like, you know, kind of anything that starts out, it has to start out with a story. So the humanities, I think, are a huge part of that, making that possible for people, no matter what kind of story they want to tell or how they want to tell it. There's so many different ways to do it.
Looks like we are running out of time, so thank you so much. Again, we have Beth Kirby, but thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Humanscape of Clarksville. Make sure to stay tuned in for the next episode.